So here we are at the end of our 6 master classes, and over the course of these 5 previous, you've heard a little bit about why faith, and you've heard a little bit about substance use disorder as a medical condition, and you've heard from our peers, and you've heard about the impact of trauma. But one of the things we wanted to do with this last class was really talk about how you can take action, how you can build something that we call congregational capital. And going across the entire spectrum of all the other classes, we've talked about loving well, loving our neighbor. And now this is really making the rubber hit the road on how can I begin to implement something at my organization, at my church, at my temple, at my synagogue, that can begin to help me love folks dealing with substance use disorder well. And so I want to kind of start with something from my tradition, from an evangelical perspective. And this is from the book of James in the New Testament. And James says this, he says, "Do you think you'll get anywhere in this if you learn all the right words but never do anything? Does merely talking about faith indicate that a person really has it?" I can already hear one of you saying, "Sounds good, you take care of the faith department and I'll handle the works department," but not so fast. Really pay attention here. "You can no more show me your works apart from your faith than I can show you my faith apart from my works." Faith and works and faith, they fit together hand in glove. And so one of the things that we want to talk about in this particular class is how we bring this faith concept to work. And here in Nevada, they've got a plan for that. And that plan is called the Nevada Interfaith Recovery Initiative. And their mission is to create a partnership between several organizations to offer training and support to you, the faith-based organization, you, the faith leader, and members of our faith community. They want to bring this education to you, again, so that you can love well. And we went back to the very first video as to why do we want to be a part of this, the prevalence of addiction in our community. But what I wanted to try to do here was just kind of make sure that we all understand where we're at when we talk about recovery. What are we trying to create inside our faith organizations, inside our churches? What are we trying to do to create a community of recovery? And I think it helps to define it. Recovery is a process of change through which individuals improve their health and wellness. You heard a little bit of that from Dr. Delaney, that recovery is on a continuum of health and wellness. And we're also trying to help folks reach their full potential. That's when we're really loving well, when we can see the destiny on someone and begin to allow that person to step into that free from their substance use disorder. And so this recovery journey has a lot of components. It has a lot of components, but 4 that really kind of stick out are an opportunity for better health, for better purpose, for an opportunity to connect to community, and maybe for some to have a place to live, a home. And so you see on this slide 12 things that recovery is, but I want to kind of focus in on just a couple of them that really relate to the faith community when it comes to taking action. And it's like this, that recovery involves a personal recognition of the need for change. You're creating a place now that better understands what a person that is dealing with a substance use disorder is going through. And now you've got an opportunity to create a safe place for change for them. That's an important piece to this puzzle. Another piece off of this 12 that's really important is that it exists on a continuum of health and wellness. Dr. Delaney emphasized that, I just mentioned it, but you're creating a place for people not only to begin that journey of health and wellness, but to continue that journey of health and wellness. But I really like this one, that recovery involves a process of healing and self-definition. If there's anything that places of faith can create an opportunity for someone to really find that new person that God or the person that they're following or that tradition that they're following has destined them to be, then that is where you're really stepping in and putting your faith to work. And so we talk about this in something that we call recovery capital. And recovery capital is simply this. It's the breadth and depth of internal and external resources that can be drawn upon to help someone initiate and sustain recovery. You're going to be a part of that recovery capital in this community. You're going to be a part of the recovery capital in your community. Now that you've learned a little bit about what substance use is, a little bit about what's behind it, the impact that peers can have on it, now you are best equipped to now become part of something that can help someone sustain, maintain, and continue to advance their recovery. So what are we doing here in Nevada? What are we doing with Foundations for Recovery? Well, it's quite simple. We're creating a recovery certification program for congregations. And what does that mean? It's pretty simple. It's this. It's allowing your church, your faith-based organization, to engage our friends from Foundations for Recovery to get trained on some vitally important material to help you be better equipped to love well. And those classes are going to be around some of the things that you've heard in this masterclass session. Substance use disorder as a medical condition. You're going to get a chance to learn a little bit about the importance of understanding how to be a better preventer of suicide. You're going to get a chance to dig in and learn a little bit about how to reverse an overdose with the use of naloxone. You have an opportunity to learn a little bit about bridges to hope when it comes to mental illness and its correlation to substance use. These are classes that are going to be made available for you at a much more deep level from our friends at Foundations for Recovery. That's your next step of action. It's to reach out and connect with them, pick out those classes that you want to take. You need to take 4 out of the 5 that they offer, and then you can be a recovery certified congregation. Then what the community will realize is that you are recovery friendly. And if somebody that's dealing with a substance use issue can walk into your church and feel comfortable that you understand them and they understand you. And that's critically important. And then from there, there's lots of opportunity for further education. That through the partnership with Foundations for Recovery and their interfaith initiative, you'll have access to deeper conversations around mental health, deeper conversations around trauma, deeper conversations around how to build ministry that can support the folks that you have been called to serve, but also maybe fill a need or fill in a gap that's happening in your community right now. So the important piece of the puzzle is this. I want to direct you to a gal named Ana Maria Hernandez. She is the interfaith coordinator and director for Foundations for Recovery. She's going to be your point of contact going forward for anything, any question that you have about getting engaged in the state of Nevada. And I know she's well equipped and she's excited about the opportunity to partner with you and to connect you to becoming a bigger part of the recovery-oriented system of care in your community, but also to becoming a bigger component of recovery capital for whatever community that you serve. And so I want to close with this. There's a great quote from a fellow named William P. Smith, and he quoted this in a book that he called Loving Well. And he made it really simple. He said this, that loving well is all about giving people the time and the space they need to grow. What we're asking from you as faith leaders and as faith organizations and as churches is for you to create time and space for people who have substance use disorder, for you to create an opportunity for people to find the wellness and the long-term health that they desire. And hopefully through these classes, you've learned a little bit about how you can do that, and now you've got a place to go to learn more, to become more engaged. So we thank you for spending time with us on this masterclass series, and I pray that you now know how to love well.